Hey, Magic fans, welcome back. This is your captain speaking here on Capnclydes MTG. We're back for some more voltage as we check out the Fallout. I'm a poet and didn't know it. Uh, yeah, lots of cards dropped today, commons, uncommons, rare, lots of reprints, so let's take a look. But first, don't forget, feet pics are at, no, I'm joking. Comment, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, the comments down below, feed the YouTube algorithm, all that good jazz. eBay, TCG players, memberships on YouTube, Patreon if you want to go old school. But if you just subscribe, like, and watch the videos, that's good enough, and it's free. It will help keep us sponsor free. Unless someone can find ShamWow. Damn it, where the hell is ShamWow at? I want to talk about, but wait, there's more. Anyhow, moving on, we have the Behemoth Sledge, white, green, and 1. For equipped creature gets +2/+2, has trample and lifelink. Equips for 3. Wow, it's like a worse armadillo cloak. But still an armadillo cloak, which if you don't know, is freaking insane. Moving on. Next we have Armory Paladin. White, red, and 1 for this 3/3 trampler. Whenever you cast aura or equipment spell, exile top card of your library. You may play that card until the end of your next turn. God, does this seem broken. Especially in the equipment aura deck, which is what this is in. And there's other decks that are equipments and aura decks. This is going to be a very popular rare. Anyway, we also have reprinted good old Wild Growth in Channelland, produces an extra green. We also have Well Rested, green and 1, enchantment aura. Whenever this creature becomes untapped, put 2+1/+1 counters on it. Then you gain 2 life and draw a card. Only triggers once each turn. Thank God. Who the hell made this? This is insane. It only triggers once each turn. That just means that in a 4-player game, you can tap and untap your creature to gain 2 life, draw 2 cards, make it freaking huge. This is absurd on so many levels for an uncommon. Like, good God. Yeah, this is going to be a $10 uncommon. I shit you not. Anyway, moving on. Let's just get past this. All right, we have some more good stuff. The Super Mutant Scavenger, green 4 for a 5/5 trampler. When it enters the battlefield or dies, return up to 1 target or equipment card from graveyard to your hand. Not bad. We have a Squirrel Nest reprint, and sweet God, I hope I never see squirrels like that. The Enchant Land, which taps and makes the 1/1 green squirrel. We have Rancor. Is her name Ran or Core? E. Anyway, moving on. Full to Ground reprint. Again, Enchant Land. Enchant Land's tap for mana. Controller adds mana of additional color. If you don't remember yesterday, we came across a card that said enchanted permanents untap whenever you swing with it, i.e. lots of enchantments. Moving on. Some other good ones we got. We got Breakdown, green and 2. Destroy target artifact or enchantment. You get a junk token. Big Hornier. Rancher with goats. You do the math. Anyhow, green and 4 for this 2/5 Vigilance. Tap, add 1 green equal to the greatest power among creatures you control. You can sacrifice the Horny Rancher to gain life equal to the greatest toughness among other creatures you control. That's interesting. The Abundant Growth reprint. Another Enchant Land to draw a card, add 1 mana of any color. Plus, you've got Sticky Fingers, 1 red enchant creature. Creature gets menace, and when this creature deals combat damage to a player, make a treasure token. When an enchanted creature dies, draw a card. Holy cow, is that a common? Wow. Yeah, wow. That's... Can you play that card in Pauper? Sweet Jesus. Anyway, moving on. Next we have Grim Reaper's Sprint. Red and 4. Aura, Morbid. Costs 3 less to cast if something dies. It's a enchant creature. Breathe. Whenever Grim Reaper's Sprint enters the battlefield, untap each creature you control. If it's your main phase, there's additional combat phase after this phase. Enchanted creature gets +2/+2 and has haste. Holy shit. This is really a 5 mana swing twice. Plus my shit gets bigger. Plus it can be cheap if I kill something first for 3 mana. Or cost the same if I Hero's Downfall something. Like, holy cow. Plus, whatever is in the battlefield gets haste if you just laid a big nasty for some reason and you have lots of mana and it's late in the game. And I mean, it's Commander. Shit happens. Anyway, this is going to be a good card. Moving on. We have the Duchess Wward Tavern Keep, red and 3 for a 4/3. Has, the hell does that say? Something for hire? Anyway, whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, put a quest counter on it. For 1, remove a quest counter from a permanent you control, make a junk token. For a rare, that's very underwhelming. Anyway, we also have the Crimson Caravaner. Caravaner. Anyway, red and 2 for a 1/2, double strike trample. Whenever it deals combat damage to a player, make a junk token. Well, that'd almost be cool if it wasn't 3 dang mana. Well, it's 3 mana, but it's in a deck full of enchantments. It's going to make it huge. But anyway, that's trample. Chaos Warp got reprinted because Lord knows we haven't seen this card enough. Jesus Christ. Moving on. We also have an acquired mutation. That's from his stomach, just for the YouTube algorithm. We'll point that out. Anyway, red and 2, enchant creature gets +2/+2, and it's goated. Whenever enchanted creature attacks, defending player gets 2 rad counters. That's rad, man. Actually, not really. That's freaking horrifying. I'm going to get off this picture. This is disgusting. All right, next we have Valorous Stance reprint, white and 1. Creature gets indestructible in a turn or destroy creature toughness 4 or greater. Good card. Next we have Single Combat reprint, 2 white and 3. Each player chooses a creature or planeswalker they control, then sacrifice the rest. Players can't cast a creature or planeswalker spells until the end of your next turn. That's one way to do it. Pre-war formal wear. Going down the runway. Anyway, white and 2 artifact equipment. When it enters the battlefield, return target creature card, mana value 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield and attach the formal wear to it. It gets +2/+2, has vigilance. Holy shit, is that good. Do you know how many 3 mana cost and less creatures that are so busted that they'd be even better if they had vigilance and +2/+2? And the fact it's a commander deck, so if they kill it the first time, you just get it back. I got high hopes for this card. I think it's going to be a sleeper. Good stuff. Good stuff. Anyway, good old Path to Exile reprint. Love the art. Seen it plenty. 1 white, exile a creature. They get a land. Comes and play tapped. Yada, yada, yada. Good removal. All that glitters. That's the spell I was trying to think of yesterday. White and 1. Enchant creature gets +1/+1 for each artifact and enchantment you control. I do like the fact he's got a bunch of Nuke Cola bottle caps. That is hilarious. And missing a tooth. I mean, it all checks out. Moving on. We also have Elder Arthur Maxim. Black, white, and 1 for a 4/2. Creature tokens you control have training. Whenever a creature token you control attacks with another creature with greater power, put a +1/+1 counter on that token. It also has Blind Betrayal. Sacrifice another creature, and the Elder gains indestructible to end of turn. This is going to be a hot card. Saying a tokens deck, ooh boy. Also, an Aristocrats deck. This is another sacrifice outlet. Plus, it's huge. It's 4/2. Your tokens are large before you swing with them, so if they do get through, you sacrifice the ones that don't. This guy gets indestructible. They take damage anyway. Your stuff gets bigger. He's just good all around. I like this guy. Next, we have Verdant Bog. Alright, I don't remember this one, but it's a filter land. Must have missed it yesterday. Green-black. Paladin Elizabeth Taggarty. White, red, and 1 for a 3/2. Has Battalion. Whenever it and at least 2 other creatures attack, draw a card. Then you may put a creature card with mana value X or less from your hand on the battlefield tapped, where X... tapped and attacking, where X is Paladin Elizabeth's power. I mean... why not print another card for the CDH deck of Winota in the same colors that does the same thing? That's also a human. Anyway, we'll just leave it there. We have Craig Boon, Novak Guard, white, red, and 1 for a 3/3 with reach and lifelink. That's the weirdest shit I've ever seen. Anyway, 1 for my baby. Whenever you attack with 2 or more creatures, you may put quest counters on Craig. When you do, Craig deals damage equal to the number of quest counters on it to up to 1 target creature unless that creature's controller has Craig deal that much damage to them. So it's kind of cool. I mean, you might kill a creature. You're probably just going to blow your opponent up in the face. But at the end of the day, that's honestly just fine. Just let your opponent bolt themselves. Especially when the thing gets like 6 counters on it and it's no longer a bolt, it's a kick to the crotch. Anyway, moving on. Anguish Unmaking reprint. Black, white, and 1. Exile a non-land permanent. Lose 3 life. Probably one of the best removal spells there is. We also have Marshall's Anthem. 2 white and 2. Multi-kicker, white and 1. Creatures you control get +1/+1. This is an enchantment. When the Anthem enters the battlefield, return up to X target creature cards from your graveyard to the battlefield, where X is the number of times you've kicked it. So for 4 mana, you get Crusade, which is highly overpriced. For 6 mana, you get Crusade and a creature from your graveyard, which could be freaking devastating because it doesn't have it just says return up to X target creature cards from your graveyard to the battlefield. Let me spell this out for you. I'm going to spend 6 mana, and I'm going to make Marshall's Anthem. I'm going to go get Sun Titan out of my graveyard. You feeling me now? And late game, good lord, you better be playing a Bojuka Bog. Somebody on the table better be playing Bojuka Bog. All right, we have the Fog Crawler, 3 green and 3 for a 6/6 trampler. If damage would be dealt to another creature you control, prevent that damage, put a +1/+1 counter on that creature for each 1 damage prevented this way. When Fog Crawler is put into the graveyard from anywhere, shuffle it to its owner's library. Holy shit, is this busted. If this hits the battlefield, it basically means you have to kill this before you can kill anything else. Because anything else doesn't take damage. You have to physically remove it from the table with... Holy crap. I mean, that includes combat damage. Like this is going to see play in anything that's green with creatures like elves and other stuff. This is good. Probably too good. We have General's Enforcer. Black, white for a 2/3. Legendary humans you control have indestructible. Oh boy. Black, white, and 2. Exile target card from a graveyard. If it was a creature card, you get a 1/1 white human soldier creature token. Man, is this going to be good. It's just another card to protect everything else on the battlefield till you kill this card. It's lightning rod with legs that if you don't kill is going to make more legs. It's going to make more guys, which is then going to be a gang fight. Yeah, I was going to say something else, didn't you? Anyway, Vault 75, middle school. 2 white and 2 for this saga. At 1, you exile all creatures power 4 or greater. And then on 2, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. Because that makes sense. I mean, I guess if you're playing a white weenie deck in Commander. Looks around nervously. I'm sure this will be good. Probably not. We have Kellogg, Dangerous Mind. Oh my god, is this a serial pun? Red, black, and 1 for a 3/2 with first strike and haste. Wow, that's good. When it attacks, make a treasure token. That's also very good. Sacrifice 5 treasures. Gain control of target creature for as long as you control Kellogg. Activate only sorcery. That is also very good. This is some things and stuff. This is a good card overall. I mean, you get a treasure token. It's got first strike. It's hard to kill. It has haste. This is just overall just a good card that goes in anything that has black and red in it. I mean, the extra stuff is just extra stuff. This is a 3 mana first striking haster that makes a treasure token when it swings. This is just good. Alright, also we have the Hour of Reckoning, 3 white and 4 with Convoke, destroy all non-token creatures. Decent reprint, I believe. We have EDE, Lonesome IBot. 3 colorless, 2/1, flying. Whenever you attack, if the number of attacking creatures is greater than the number of quest counters on EDE, Lonesome IBot, put a quest counter on it. For 2, sacrifice EDE, draw a card, then draw an additional card for each quest counter on EDE. Eddie. Anyway, this is really good. I mean, I don't see why you wouldn't play this in any deck. It's an artifact, lets you draw a card. Worst case scenario, someone kills it. I mean, I'd rather you kill this than my commander, so yeah, why not? Alright, we have the Mysterious Stranger. This is the weirdest art I've ever seen. A, he knows damn good and well that thing sees him behind that tree. B, that thing is looking at him behind that tree like he's got a pretty mouth. Moving on. 2 red and 2, human rogue with flash and 3/2. Already not bad for a combat trick. However, when it enters the battlefield, For each graveyard with an instant or sorcery card in it, if you're playing Commander with 4 people, that could be a lot. Exile target instant or sorcery card from that graveyard. If 2 or more cards are exiled this way, choose one of them at random, copy it. You may cast a copy without paying its mana cost. People are like, oh, is this Counterspell? No, this is not Counterspell. This is freaking Time Walk. That's what this is. This is Time Walk. And that's on a bad day. On a good day, this is anything you don't want your opponent to have that's in your colors. I.e., any ultimatum. Board Wrath. Anything else that costs shit tons of mana, that's an instant or sorcery that this guy is just going to hammer out. Yeah, seems like a bad time for everybody involved, except for the guy playing him. Next, we have a reprint of good old Skull Clamp. 1 colorless, equips for 1, creature gets +1/-1. Whenever it dies, you draw 2 cards. The infamous Skull Clamp. I do like the fact that it's a helmet and electricity. It's cool. Whatever. Next, we have the Bobbleheads are in the house, and obviously these are going to be the serialized cards. We have the Strength Bobblehead, 3 colorless, adds 1 mana of any color. For 3 and tapping it, put X +1/+1 counters on target creature where X is the number of Bobbleheads you control. The Luck Bobblehead does the same thing, except for 1 and tapping it, you roll a 6-sided dice. Where you roll X 6-sided dice, my bad. Where X is the number of Bobbleheads you control, create a tapped treasure token for each even result. If you rolled 6 exactly 7 times, you win the game. Are there even 7 Bobbleheads? Anyway. The Agility Bobblehead, for 3 and tapping, up to X target creatures you control each gain haste on their turn. Can't be blocked this turn except by creatures with haste. Where X is the number of Bobbleheads. And the Charisma Bobblehead, which for 4 and tapping it, creates X 1/1 white soldier creature tokens, where X is the number of Bobbleheads you control. Bobbleheads. The deck. Anyway. Moving on, we still got 1 left. There's the Endurance Bobblehead. X target creature you control get +1/+0 and gain indestructible end of turn, equal the number of Bobbleheads you control. This one, okay, if you're playing a Bobblehead deck, it's going to get very annoying very quick. Unless you're playing Bobbleheads, then it's going to be a good time. Just going to put that out there. Next we have Rose, Cutthroat Raider, 2-rated 2 for a 3/2. Robot, first strike. It has Assault. At the end of combat on your turn, if you attack this turn, create 1 junk token for each opponent you attacked. Whenever you sacrifice a junk token, add a red. That seems really good. We also have Radesh, the Founder, white and 2 for a 1/4. Enlist. So when the creature attacks, you may tap another creature. Without Summoning Sickness, when you do, its power is added to this guy. Whenever a creature you control attacks, if it is enlisted, a creature this combat, the creature that attacked gains double strike to the end of turn, i.e. this dude. If that creature's power is 4 or more, draw a card, i.e. it will be this dude. Whenever a creature you control attacks, if it enlisted a creature this combat, that creature that attacked gains double strike until the end of turn. If that creature's power is 4 or more, draw a card. Hang on. Does that just say the same thing twice? Well, 1, I didn't catch it because I didn't read this in advance. 2, someone needs to work on this translator. What the hell? Anyway, moving on. So we have Overseer of Vault 76, white and 2. I'd probably take her to Taco Bell. I'm not sorry. I'll get back to the distracted squirrel. 3/3, legendary creature, human advisor, first contact. Boy, it'd be contact, all right. Whenever an Overseer of Vault 76 or another creature you control with power of 3 or less enters the battlefield under your control, put a quest counter on this card. At the start of combat on your turn, you may remove 3 quest counters from permanents you control. If you do, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control, and then they gain vigilance. This seems pretty good. Not overly busted, but in a quest counter deck, probably pretty good. And let's not forget, there are other cards that have quest things on them. What was it? Original Zendikar had those things that got quest counters to make the enchantments go off. Found it. Combo. Anyway, moving on. We have McCreedy, Mayor of Lamplight, white-black for a 1/3. Whenever a creature you control with power 2 or less attacks, it gains Skulked in their turn, which means it can't be blocked by creatures with greater power. Whenever a creature you control power 4 or greater attacks you, its controller loses 2 life and you gain 2 life. Holy shit, is that good? The second ability on this is just bananas. B-A-N-A. Oh, sorry. Yeah, this is amazing. So something 4 or greater, if something with 4 attacks you, you're basically just taking 2 damage. So you're better off to let it hit you so it does 2 damage to the other player and not even worry about blocking. Now, if you want to block, you can. And then it gets real awkward for the other guy. This is really cool. I like this card. Art's kind of funny too, not going to lie. Next we have tokens. We have Radiation tokens. We have Wasteland Survival Guide tokens. We have a junk token. Nuke Cola. That's almost like sorry, I'll get in trouble here. We have a food token for Nuke Cola. I'm so glad this is here. I was going to be so pissed I didn't make this token like this. Just a Nuke Cola token, that is. We have a Squirrel token, which is either going to be very popular or shunned by all of humanity. There's no in between here. This is who did they make draw this? Like, oh my god. We have a Settlement token, which we talked about those yesterday. Human Soldier tokens. Let's see. We also have a Copy token. We have, I love this Treasure token. Oh, I want it. So sweet. Nucola. Vault 21, House Gambit. For red and 1, you get a Saga that for 1 and 2, you discard a card, then draw a card. That's pretty sweet for red. Nothing like filtering your hand and your draws for 2 turns. On 3, reveal up to 5 non-land cards from your hand for each of those cards that have the same name, same mana value as another card revealed this way. Create a treasure token. And it's got ramp. This seems pretty cool. However, I don't think it's going to be that great because you're going to want to play cards. You're probably not going to have 5 cards in your hand by the time this thing goes off. I'm just going to put that out there. If you do, most of them are probably going to be lands because that's what you're going to be digging for. So I don't think this is going to work out. Moving on, we have Mr. Gutsy. 2 colorless for a 1/1 soldier. Whenever you cast an aura or equipment spell, put a +1/+1 counter on Mr. Gutsy. When he dies, create X junk tokens where X is the number of +1/+1 counters on him. This is amazing. This is just another, cheaper and another version of that one card that whenever you make an artifact, it gets +1/+1. It has Ward and Trample. Forget what it's called. Been a while. Static Pummeler, retro static, something static Pummeler. I don't remember. I think. Who cares? Anyway, moving on. Still, this is going to be a great card. Yeah, huge. Mantle of the Ancients. I love it. It's the shirt from the... it's the shirt. Oh my god, it's the shirt. That's all I'm going to say. It's the shirt. 2 white and 3 aura. Enchant creature you control. When it enters the battlefield, return any number of target auras and or equipment cards that could be attached to enchanted creature from your graveyard to the battlefield attached to it. Holy shit. Enchanted creature gets +1/+1 for each aura and equipment attached to it. Woo! All that glitters on crack. This is going to get played in every enchantment deck. Or equipment deck. Or both. Wow, is this good. Probably should have been a mythic. Just going to say it. Next we have Cast the Hand of Vengeance. White, red, and 2 for a 4/3 vigilance. Whenever it or another creature you control dies, if it was enchanted or equipped, return any number of aura cards that were attached to it from your graveyard to the battlefield attached to target creature. Then attach any number of equipments that were attached to it to that creature. Whew, boy. I mean, it might have the same mana cost as Winona, but this is not as bad yet. We'll have to see how this plays out. This could be very ugly. Just going to say it. All right, guys. We got a long one today. Lots of stuff to go over. And I thank you for staying with me if you did. Until next time, be kind. And as always, hope to see you across from the game table. Later, players. Whew. I got to exercise. I'm too fat for this. Run out of breath.